Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your names?
I'm Jacob Brouillette.
Arias Hoyle.
Where are you guys from?
I am from Elam, Alaska, but I went down and spent the summer in Juneau, and I was a part of a video, and here I am.
Okay. And you too?
Yeah, I was born in Anchorage, Alaska, but right here actually. I've been in Juneau since I was 2 weeks old. Born and raised.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So tell us what you'd like to talk to us about.
Just a great experience so far with this place.
Okay. And is this your first E&Y?
This is my very first, yeah.
How about you?
This is my first time here, and it's pretty good. I got to experience quite a few things, and not only that, it's just all in all pretty good, great.
So how would you encourage everyone else that hasn't attended to come and join E&Y? What's the value?
The value would have to be respect, and not just for one another, but for one's culture and one's other culture as well, because there's like a huge mix of cultures from all around Alaska. And not only that, there's quite a few people from outside Alaska too. And so, with that being said, you really have to be mindful of what people's background, because they're not going to be the same as yours and what you're used to.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. For me, it's that your native indigenous spirit will flourish in a place like this one. One huge difference from, say, Celebration is that this one, though it might be organized in order, you can kind of just go out and whatever you feel, you just go for it right there in front of the rest of your family, pretty much. And you have so much in common and yet so much that's diverse as well, because you're sharing a bunch of different Alaskan natives, a bunch of different Southerners all together at once. And it's just like a rainbow.
Yeah.
It's so multicolored, so multinational, and yet it all just flows so perfectly.
Yeah. Awesome. That was beautiful. So how many students traveled with you from your school?
Well, from my school, there were a couple. I'd say two.
Okay.
Hmm.
And how many people that you know then came with you?
How many people I know? As a group, there were 10, yeah.
Okay. And how about with your group?
Actually, Tlingit and Haida, they paid my way down here, but I was the only one that came from Elam, but I am not the only one from the Bering Strait School District that came down for AFN.
Very good. So what has been your most favorite part of today?
My most favorite part of today would have to be just being a part of this huge gathering of so many diverse natives, not only Alaskan natives, but natives like across the nation, actually. It's not just Alaska, even though we're focusing on that, but there's other natives that came up to Alaska to experience this, and I just think that is really a great deal.
Very good.
Hmm. So far, my favorite thing is when I learned about the indigenous media that's being used. It seems like for once, you take a tradition that everyone loves and flourishes in here in Alaska and actually putting it out into the mainstream, letting everyone know about it. That's been my goal since I was maybe 5. Because here I was watching Celebration thinking that's amazing, but it's their 1 minute of fame. It doesn't go much further than that. Whereas here at AFN, it seems like now you can put it out to any media. You can network it as much as you want, and everyone's going to appreciate that because they've never had it happen before.
Yeah.
This is the future. And I think that's just beyond me in a good way.
Very good. So what workshops are you planning to attend tomorrow?
Oh, definitely Tlingit language. I would love to learn some Inupiaq. I have not spoken Inupiaq or Yupik at all. I need a new experience.
The one that I'd probably attend tomorrow would have to be Tools for Change to Protect Future Generations, because I, for one, I am a part of this generation that's like kind of in between, that's falling apart and rebuilding itself back up, because there's so many negative things out there that bring our culture down. There's like self-identity and other things too, like suicide and abuse, substance abuse as well. But there's also a huge generation, or a huge part of my generation that really wants to build ourselves up. But not only that, we want to make sure future generations don't have to go through what we did, because we know what that struggle feels like, and we don't want others to struggle the way that we did.
Very good. I know Charlie Cross. He grew up in Elam, right?
Yeah.
He's your relative?
I'm pretty sure.
It's very likely.
I understand he just retired from the Nome Post, Alaska State Troopers. Yeah, we're pretty proud of him.
If I may.
Yeah.
There's something that I've been really trying to do. Nearly 3 years ago, my best friend, he actually committed suicide, and that's why I am striving to become a leader, and a leader not only to help with my generation, but also future generations as well, because this is a very serious topic, and like it's so brushed aside by so many people, not only by teens, but also as well as older people as well. I'm sorry, but yeah, suicide really does need to be talked about more often, and I just want to be a part of that voice that speaks out and tries to spread awareness about it. And I'm learning so much here, and it's really helping me a lot in my stand against suicide.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm obviously very sorry for your loss, but that, suicide amongst Alaska Natives and lower 48 Indigenous people, I mean, we just suffer from some really unfortunate national distinctions, and one of them is those. So I'm glad that you're taking such a strong stand on that. You speak very well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a closing?
Of course, thank you to my friend here, because I feel like it's something worth addressing, and at a place like this, it's something that we know is there. We just choose not to acknowledge it, so that way it doesn't take power. Because places like this one remind me that there is no shame in being Alaskan. No shame. And for those that do, they're definitely in the wrong spot. They're in a lost state. And now is the time for them to just let that be and set that aside for at least a minute. Because it's a place like this where you really don't have to think about that dark side. Because once you end it, you end it. Yeah. As sad as it is, your spirit might go off somewhere else, but no one's going to see you until then. And at a place like this, they're going to want to see all of you, including the drunks, including the abusers, the abused. Now's the time to be one of those, because you can at least let that not be the case for your spirit in a place like this. And most of all is that when I come to a place like this, I completely forget about the other side of who I am. Of course, I still embrace that I'm African American and Tlingit, but I legit feel like a full-blood spiritual Tlingit within this premises. In places like this, I almost don't even acknowledge the color of anybody's skin, though it does go back to normal if I go back to normal everyday life. Which is unfortunate, because, I mean, being Tlingit is amazing. My grandma told me it's something you should kind of be braggadocious about, because there's not a lot of people that get to say that when you go to Illinois, for example. I just think that we need to let everybody know that it's really a blessing.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a blessing to be who you are.
Yep.
And you're lucky that we have a whole village full of your own family that loves who you are and loves themselves.
Thank you both for joining us. We're now